All right, hey guys, welcome to the video. If you're new here, my name's Curtis, and today we're going to be talking about the newest fragrance from the house of Maksim Perfume called Oud Indochine. So if you're curious to hear my thoughts and opinions about this fragrance, then let's go. So yeah, I want to talk about Maksim Perfume as a house. So basically they're a fragrance house that started at the beginning of 2024, I believe. And they have their first line that they released, which included 3 fragrances. So this is their newest fragrance called Oud Indochine. And Maksim Perfume was started by Maksim. He is the son of Dmitry Bortnikov, if you're familiar with Bortnikov. So I guess you could say, you know, there's that connection there. So in some ways you can kind of really see a bit of his father's perfumery in Maksim's own creations. So yeah, there's that relation there. All right, so I was super excited when I heard that Maksim Perfume was going to be releasing a new fragrance. Now, I don't know, I think back in April or March, Maksim Perfume had reached out to me and they had sent me a fragrance from their first line called Cafe Mystique, and that fragrance was amazing. And I've reviewed that fragrance on the channel. If you missed that, you can check it here. And basically it's a amber floral fragrance. It has a bit of coffee in it, oud, blended together extremely well. And it's one of those fragrances that just takes you on a journey. And so when I heard that Maksim Perfume was going to be releasing a new fragrance, they had reached out to me and asked if I was interested to receive the new fragrance. So I said yes. So this fragrance was gifted to me by the brand. There was no obligation to review it or anything like that. There was no mention of like making a video or anything like that. They just said, hey, would you like this perfume since we know that you enjoyed the last one? I said, yeah, sure. And that was pretty much it. So yeah, they kindly sent me this fragrance, and so I'll be reviewing that today. So basically when you receive a fragrance from Maksim Perfume, it will come in a box just like this. So it says Maksim Perfume. You open up the box and you basically get this. And I need to grab the fragrance. So if you open it, your fragrance will be sitting inside just like this. So the presentation's really, really nice. So you just pull it out and there you go. And one thing that I really like about the bottle design of this fragrance is, number one, you can see the juice clearly, and I love the color of the juice, but at the same time, it's a magnetic cap. So I'm a sucker for magnetic caps. As you guys know, I've mentioned that on the channel before. But yeah, Maksim Perfume is a brand out of Bangkok, Thailand. Yeah, so also when you order a fragrance from Maksim Perfume, you get a little card like this. And on the back, it gives you all of the notes for the fragrance. So I'll be going over the notes. In the top, you have some cardamom, some red saffron, and vanilla. In the mid, you have frankincense, labdanum, myrrh, beeswax, and gaiac wood. And in the base, you have oud kinam, oud South Thai, cocoa, tar, ambergris, chocolate, and oud hindi. And yeah, let me go over the sprayer here. So hopefully you can see. Man, it's a huge spray. It's a pressurized spray. It is a pressurized sprayer. So yeah, it puts out quite a bit of juice. I can totally feel that. It is a room filler, so this will fill up the entire room. Yeah, and I'll be talking about the performance later. All right, so let's get into Oud Indochine. And I feel like I can accurately talk about this fragrance. I've been wearing it for the past 3 days, so I feel like I can tell you about the journey that this fragrance has taken me on personally. All right, so the perfumers on this were Maksim Bortnikov and Rajesh Balkrishnan. And I'm gonna reapply this to my arm right now, just so I can speak a bit more about it. Okay, man, this is so nice. Okay, so basically what you get from the top is you get a heavy blast of spices. So you have some saffron and cardamom that's pushing forward quite heavily. But you also have a bit of sweetness there coming from some vanilla. And this fragrance also has a bit of beeswax, so it's really helping to kind of smooth things out a bit. You're rounding off the edges of that kind of harsh spiciness. Man, but it is so good. And yeah. And one thing about this fragrance too is I get kind of a honeyed tobacco-like presence. So, which is interesting because there is no tobacco listed in the note breakdown of this fragrance. So, I'm wondering if it's the combination of the notes, or maybe they did use a bit of tobacco, but maybe it just wasn't included in the notes, or how that kind of plays out, or if it's the combination of the ouds that are used in here. So there are 3 different kinds of ouds that are in this fragrance. And as you begin to dry down with this fragrance, that oud starts to push forward. Now, it's not like to me and to my nose, I don't feel like it's an animalic or even barnyardy type of oud. Like, I don't get that at all. I feel like this fragrance, it's a very easy and pleasant wear. Not saying that barnyardy and oudy fragrances aren't that, but like this fragrance is extremely pleasant. But you can definitely pick up on that oud. But also kind of in that dry down, kind of like I said, you get that oud that starts to push forward. But you also get a bit of like cocoa and a chocolatey note that kind of surrounds that oud and provides a bit of sweetness. And there's something that, just really gives me the sense of comfort in this fragrance. Something almost kind of soothing about it, and in a way, I know this sounds kind of weird probably, but there's something a bit almost kind of therapeutic about it, if that makes any sense, but that's just how it makes me feel personally. But yeah, this is extremely well done, very, very well blended as well. And one thing that I really, really love about Maksim Perfume, and something that you can tell from first spray, is that the ingredients that are used are coming from, very highly well-sourced materials. So in all of their fragrances too, they use 95 to 100% naturals, and you can definitely tell here, it is really that good. I'm not kidding. Extremely well-made fragrances here. Man, and so let me kind of talk a bit about the performance and what I've experienced over the past 3 days. So number one, the longevity here is extremely strong. So even after you take a shower, after you get out of the shower, you can still smell it. Now I'm talking to you about my own personal experience. Your experience may vary, but my own personal experience. After I showered, I was easily still able to smell it, so the longevity is extremely good. In terms of projection, I would say that it's quite a strong projection, but I would say the sillage, it has a heavy sillage. So, when you walk past, or, if you spray this in your room, like I've done in the past, I've had the windows open, sprayed it in my room, doors open, everything, left. Hours later, I come back and the room still smells like this. So the sillage that this fragrance has, it's a lingering presence, but it smells so good. And what I've found over the past 3 days, for me, is that it's quite an addictive smell. It's something that I feel is going to work perfectly in the fall and also the winter. And I'm excited to wear this fragrance when the temperatures drop even more, because I feel like it's really gonna fit well in that kind of cooler weather. Now things are still a little bit warm here in Japan. It's cooling off finally, but yeah, I think this is going to really shine when we get a bit deeper into the fall and also those winter months. And so I'm super excited to wear this. I would say that this fragrance is definitely unisex. It might push over slightly to the masculine side of things, but a woman could definitely pull this one off as well. I would say this: if you're someone who enjoys exotic, deep, rich, opulent fragrances, then this is a fragrance that, you know, might be your cup of tea. But what I will say about this is sample first. So on the website, they're selling this fragrance it's a 50 ml extrait to parfum concentration, and it goes for $400 US, but they also sell a 9 ml bottle, and that goes for $95 US. So I would say, you know, if you're interested in a fragrance like this, I would say definitely sample it first, to see if kind of this is the type of fragrance that you would be into. It's important, always sample first. But yeah, in my opinion, this is such, again, a well done fragrance. Now it's up to you, you know, whether you decide that, you know, if you can justify the cost of $400 or even $95 for a 9 ml sample. That's up to you. But in terms of my opinion on this fragrance, I think it's extremely well done, and I'm really enjoying the wearing experience of this fragrance. Again, you know, this is one of those fragrances that I wear and it just takes me on a journey. It's a transportive fragrance, and it's now in my fragrance journey, I'm looking for fragrances that can do that. And that's, for me, in my experience with this brand so far, that is something. They're 2 for 2. Cafe Mystique, the first fragrance that I tried from them, it took me on that journey. Oud Indochine, the second fragrance, it's done the same thing. So they're 2 for 2. And so yeah, I have nothing but high praise for this brand, and I'm excited to see how they progress and develop with their next fragrances that they create. So yeah, I'm super excited for this brand, and yeah, I'm definitely in full support of them, and I hope they continue to do well in the future. But yeah, overall, this fragrance, I think, is definitely an amazing oud fragrance that is easy to wear. So I think, and I'm guilty of this too. You know, for me, for the longest time, oud was a note that it took me such a long time to become accustomed to. But the beautiful thing about oud is it can have so many different facets. And, you know, you could even wear oud on its own and it can come off in so many different ways. But when you combine that with different notes, yeah, it just can change so much. So don't be afraid of oud. I think a common misconception is that all oud smells barnyardy or fecal, and that's just not the case. But you know, there are definite ouds like that. But I would say, in terms of oud fragrances, if you were to consider this an oud fragrance, I mean, hence the name Oud Indochine, it is an easy to wear oud, in my humble opinion. But yeah, like I said before, I'm really impressed with this house, and I look forward to their future creations. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content, and let me know down in the comments section, have you tried anything from the house of Maksim Perfume? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on them as a house. And if you have any other questions for me about this particular fragrance, Oud Indochine, that I didn't address in the video, please feel free to ask, and I will try to answer your questions as best I can. But yeah, I hope you guys are all staying healthy and well, and I'll see you in the next video.